In this lesson, we'll continue working on the file 16 output. We did a lot of work on these audio tracks in a previous lesson, but we quickly ran up against the limitations of clip-based audio mixing. So here's a quick introduction to round-tripping with Soundtrack Pro. Select the sequence in the browser. Go to the File menu and send to Soundtrack Pro Multitrack Project. The Save dialog uses the sequence name. Rename it if you like. And in the options below, leave background video checked if you want a visual reference while you mix. I'm going to save time and disk space by unchecking it. Then hit Save. Soundtrack Pro works in two different ways: as a full-featured multi-track mixer, the mode we're in now, or as a file-based audio editor, which you can see by double-clicking on an audio region. This opens the audio file in a new tab, and any changes you make to the file here will be updated automatically in the multi-track project. Click back to the sequence audio and twirl down the triangle beside the middle track. You can see the levels we assigned in Final Cut Pro, but here's the crucial difference. We set the levels clip by clip in Final Cut Pro. If you moved the clip, the level information moved with it. But in Soundtrack Pro, we have track levels in a continuous stream. If you move or replace an audio region, the levels remain and are unchanged. You can change these levels manually by adjusting the points in the graph area and double-click for a new point. Or click on the lower pane button in the upper right. This reveals the track mixer. Select Touch or Latch from this pop-up to record automation data for your mix. It's also much easier to add effects with a track mixer because the effect is added to everything on the track, not just a single clip. Make sure the track is selected. In fact, let's hit the S button to solo the track. Go to the Effects tab, click on Reverb, and double-click Space Designer. All audio unit plugins installed on your system are available in their full graphical form in Soundtrack Pro, unlike some of the numeric compromises when they're available in Final Cut Pro. Adjust the plugin parameters or select a preset.
My name is Annie Kim, and I live in the Los Angeles area.
Disable the effect here. And, as a cleanup tool, it's much easier to edit audio here than in Final Cut. Go to the beginning of the second region and play.
My name is Annie Kim, and...
Did you hear the click during the pause?
My name is Annie Kim.
If you're having trouble seeing it, use the track height controls. They work just like Final Cuts. Hit Command+ to zoom in on the playhead, and Command Shift+ to zoom vertically on the waveform. See the click? Just hit B for the blade tool and cut. Hit A and drag the right in point to exclude that part of the waveform. When you go to the upper corner of a region, the cursor changes to a pointer with an envelope. Click and drag to add a 3 dB fade.
Annie Kim, and I...
The click is gone. When you're happy with your mix, unsolo the track. Hit Command E for the export dialog. Give it a name that includes From STP and choose a save location. In exported items, choose whether you want to send them as individual tracks or a stereo mixdown. Keep them as AIF files, and here's the most important thing. Under After Export, select Send Files to Final Cut Pro Sequence and hit Export. You get a Final Cut Import XML dialog. Just hit OK. And look for the new sequence in your browser. Open it, and you'll find your mix on the enabled tracks on top, your source audio files disabled below, and everything lined up with your video. We only have time for the briefest of introductions to Soundtrack Pro, but audio is such a critical part of the finishing process that I'd say Soundtrack Pro is the second most important app to learn in Final Cut Studio. It does so much that Final Cut can't do on its own. Next in line would be Motion. While it doesn't have as many bells and whistles as After Effects, Motion is a lot easier to learn. And sending a file to Motion from the Final Cut Pro timeline is as easy as control-clicking and selecting Send to Motion Project. The shot you sent is replaced with the Motion file, so there's no additional export-import to get it back into Final Cut. Every time you save a change to the file in Motion, the clip updates automatically in Final Cut Pro. Using After Effects with Final Cut Pro requires a third-party product like Automatic Duck or XML Transfer from Boris FX. But note that your Photoshop files can be brought into Final Cut as is, with all layers preserved.